Early morning. Beneath the Bodhi tree, Buddha sat in meditation. Disciples gathered, seeking wisdom to alleviate their suffering. Buddha looked gently at them. His voice calm. The world is filled with suffering. Its roots lie in craving and ignorance. Craving binds us to desires and fleeting pleasures. Ignorance blinds us to the impermanent and interconnected nature of existence. Imagine a man climbing a mountain, seeking treasures hidden in the clouds. He struggles to reach heights that cannot sustain him. Fear and doubt are like shadows cast by a flame, Buddha said gently. They exist because the light is not steady. In life, sorrow is inevitable. The loss of loved ones, changing fortunes, and aging all cause pain. Yet pain itself is not suffering. Suffering is how we attach meaning to it. A mother mourns her child, thinking she has lost her joy forever. Her grief is magnified by her attachment to permanence. Understand this truth: all things are impermanent, flowing like the waters of a river. The more you resist the current, the more turbulent your journey becomes. One disciple asked, "Master, is it wrong to desire happiness or love?" Buddha smiled gently and replied, "To seek happiness and love is natural, but suffering arises when you cling to them. When you fear their loss, you invite suffering into your heart. If a bird fears the wind will steal its feathers, it will never soar. Likewise, freedom comes when we release fear of impermanence." Reflect on the four noble truths I teach. First, recognize the existence of suffering in your life and in others. Second, identify its cause, which is craving and attachment. Third, know that cessation of suffering is possible. Fourth, understand that the path to liberation lies in the Eightfold Path. Buddha paused, observing the disciples' reactions. Their faces reflected both awe and contemplation. A young disciple named Sariputta spoke, "Master, I understand suffering originates in craving. But how can we overcome it?" Buddha answered, "Craving is like a fire that consumes everything in its path. To extinguish it, you must understand its nature. Meditation and mindfulness reveal the impermanence of desires and their fleeting satisfaction. Imagine a candle. It shines brightly, yet its flame cannot endure forever. In understanding this, you learn to enjoy its warmth without sorrow when it fades. Let go of your desire for permanence, and suffering diminishes." Another disciple, Sujata, asked, "Master, how do we live without desires in a world full of temptation?" Buddha replied, "You cannot escape the world or its temptations. Instead, cultivate wisdom and mindfulness to transcend their allure. Consider a lotus blooming in muddy waters. Its purity remains untouched. In life, practice detachment without forsaking compassion." Buddha spoke gently, weaving insights with metaphors, guiding his disciples. The gathering ended, hearts ignited with the light of truth. Another day, beneath the clear skies, Buddha walked along the riverside with his disciples. The sound of flowing water accompanied them. A disciple named Ananda approached Buddha with a question. "Master, how do we find peace amidst the chaos of life?" Buddha stopped and turned, his voice serene and deliberate. "Peace is not found. It is cultivated within. Imagine a tree standing strong in the storm. Its roots hold it firm. The Eightfold Path is the foundation, like roots grounding you against the winds of suffering. Begin with right view, seeing the world as it truly is. Understand impermanence, interconnectedness, and the nature of suffering." Ananda asked, "How does one hold a right view when surrounded by distractions and desires?" Buddha replied, "By practicing mindfulness and wisdom daily. Clarity replaces confusion, and distractions lose their hold on the mind. Right intention follows, guiding thoughts toward compassion, kindness, and non-attachment. It is the seed from which peace grows. Consider the farmer sowing seeds. With care and intention, the soil nurtures life. Likewise, your mind must be tended with purpose and wisdom. A fisherman cast his net nearby, catching fish to feed his family. Buddha pointed and said, "Watch the fisherman. His actions show right livelihood." Right action means living with integrity, not causing harm to others or yourself. Choose work that aligns with compassion and mindfulness. The fisherman provides food without taking more than needed, honoring the balance of nature. Buddha continued, "Right speech is a mirror to the soul, reflecting thoughts and intentions. Speak with honesty, kindness, and purpose. Words can heal wounds or deepen them. Choose wisely." Another disciple named Sujata asked, "Master, how can one find the strength to follow these teachings every day?" Buddha smiled gently and said, "Strength comes from right effort, dedicating energy to cultivate good and eliminate harmful habits. Imagine climbing a mountain. Each step, though tiring, brings you closer to the summit. Right mindfulness follows, bringing awareness to each thought, action, and breath. In mindfulness, distractions lose their power. Finally, right concentration focuses the mind. Like the archer aiming an arrow, practice meditation to strengthen focus and calm. The Eightfold Path is not a destination but a journey, each step deepening wisdom and peace." Sujata bowed and said, "Thank you, Master, for showing us the way. Each step feels achievable with your guidance." Buddha smiled warmly, saying, "Walk the path not as travelers chasing a goal, but as gardeners tending their inner fields. Let compassion guide you, and let wisdom be your light." Another day ended, leaving his disciples filled with purpose and clarity. Another day, as dawn broke over the horizon, Buddha sat under a banyan tree. His disciples gathered with reverence and anticipation. Among them was Sujata, who carried the weight of lingering sorrow in her heart. "Master," she said, her voice trembling, "I have walked the path, yet I cannot free myself from this pain." Buddha looked at her with compassion and spoke, "Sujata, understand that pain is a visitor, transient and fleeting. It is our attachment that turns pain into suffering. Imagine holding a rope tied to a great boulder. The harder you pull, the heavier it feels. Release the rope and the burden disappears. Letting go does not mean forgetting but accepting. Acceptance brings freedom." Another disciple, Rahula, asked, "Master, how do we let go when the mind clings so tightly to its attachments?" Buddha replied, "Meditate on impermanence. All things change. Nothing remains fixed. Contemplate the river flowing. Never the same water twice. Clinging to what has passed is like chasing the river upstream. An endless struggle. Focus instead on the present moment, for it is all we truly possess. The past is a shadow. The future is a dream." Sujata asked, "Master, does accepting impermanence mean we must not love or care deeply?" Buddha smiled and answered, "No, Sujata, love and compassion are vital. But love without attachment is pure and liberating. Imagine holding a flower in your hands. You admire its beauty without wishing it never wilts. This is love without clinging, an act of cherishing without possessing. The heart remains open, unburdened by fear of loss." Another disciple, Ananda, spoke, "Master, even knowing impermanence, my mind returns to fear and longing. How can one find true freedom?" Buddha responded, "True freedom arises from understanding interconnectedness. Your suffering is not yours alone. It flows through all beings. Meditate on compassion for all living things. In serving others, you dissolve your own suffering. Imagine a candle lighting another. Its flame does not diminish, yet it brings light to the darkness around. As you give, you grow, unbinding the chains of self-centered desire." Sujata bowed her head and said, "Master, I will reflect deeply on your words and practice your teachings." Buddha smiled gently and replied, "Sujata, liberation is a journey. not a moment. Walk with patience and kindness toward yourself. He turned to all his disciples and continued, "Let us contemplate the four immeasurables: loving kindness, compassion, empathetic joy, and equanimity. These qualities open the heart, replacing attachment with understanding and peace. Practice loving kindness by wishing happiness for all beings, including yourself. Cultivate compassion for those who suffer, seeing their pain as your own. Celebrate the joys of others without envy or comparison. Finally, find balance in equanimity, accepting life's changes with serenity. Through these practices, the mind becomes steady, unshaken by the waves of impermanence." The day turned to dusk, and Buddha's teachings resonated deeply within his disciples. Hearts once heavy grew lighter with understanding. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.